Good evening, everybody. Welcome to VSL Season 1 here in Hungary for round 12. Happy New Year, everybody. And, yeah, we're back in business. I'm your commentator, Owen Watt, and with me for the first time is Pete.
Thanks for having me in the commentary box, Owen. It's a pleasure to be here.
And, yes, qualifying has just got underway, and these will all just be the installation laps. So, yeah. Plenty of chill time for the drivers. Apparently there's already been a few errors at turn 5 from, I assume it must be Coney, it was. But he looks to have continued. It's really weird, I always see Cybers with a number 15 on it. I swear, I see this everywhere. It's a
Seems to be
fascination.
there looking under them.
Yeah. Well, not for me, I mean, anytime I ever use it, I just have disasters. But,
It'll
yeah.
be interesting to see what tyres people start on.
Well, yeah, I'm surprised that anyone's going to be doing early laps on Ultra Softs, even though it's not a
Well,
competitive lap.
I did speak to the devil that Tony was doing on a provisional 118.4. Yeah, a lot of drivers are out on the mediums.
Yeah, like I say, that's just for install and everything. I imagine that the soft tires that Kyle's on right now, that's probably going to be the best qualifying tire here, because
Yes, definitely.
yeah, the mediums just don't really go too well at the start. You want to be on them at the end, and softs is the better quality tire. And there's yellows up at the top of the hill. I wonder if there's been anyone off there. It's gone green again.
Probably someone probably going slowly as either letting
Yeah.
drivers through or just warming up for
Ah.
a new lap or just creating an in lap to come into the pits for a new set of tyres.
Yes, Ahmed's staying well out of the way there. He's going off at every corner. He's the yellow flag. He's off in Narnia. And,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the cause of the yellows then. But, yes, for
At
anyone
least
who's
he's
new
doing
here.
the right thing, getting out of the way. Don't want
Yeah,
to be impeding people's laps.
like I said, we're getting some more times coming in. Expect them probably to be down to the low 16s, maybe even high 15s. Just sort of depends if they can get a good lap in. But, yeah, to anyone who's new here, and he may not be aware of the rules, think of it like WEC, basically. We've got two different classes. We've got the F1 tier and the F2 tier, both racing at the same time. They both have their separate point systems. So that means that we have the two championships going on at the same time. And, yeah, we hope that's going to make better racing. We did try this last time in Germany, and it worked pretty well. The two tiers were able to have some pretty decent races, and, yeah, we got some decent title fights. There's one F1 driver and one F2 driver in each team, by the way. So that makes the constructors quite fair, and it'll be interesting to see how that all fans out. So, yeah. There's also a point for both tiers. They both get a point for pole position, and they both get a point for fastest out as well. So that means per tier, the maximum amount of points you can get is 27, and then obviously constructors is 54. And I think that'd be quite impressive to see someone manage that today.
It'll be good just to get the hat trick on pole, fastest lap, and the win. But if you're starting on pole, from the looks of things, it's going to be a driver on a set of ultra softs, and they're going to do some interesting strategic call if they want to win this race. Because obviously the strategy would be softs to mediums or mediums to softs. If you're starting on a set of ultras, you've got to do a lot of tyre management if you want to make those last long enough to make sure you do a one stop in this race.
You know, another thing I've actually been noticing here on quali laps, just Ahmed there just across the line. A lot of people are burning off all their ERS early and actually not having enough to run to the line. And you may not think that would actually cause that much of a loss in time, but it seriously does cost you a couple of tenths. Because you seriously do need that run to the line. So I wonder if any of the drivers will be learning about that and actually saving in the middle sector for their laps.
I think that'll be the best part of the lap.
Oh, that's an
Save,
accident
because
there
that's
for Luke. He was going through the turn 6 and 7
yeah.
chicane, and he lost it on the exit. We didn't get the best camera angle of it, but yeah, there he is in the wall. Front left tire gone. And there's also another car off ahead. I wonder if that was a Mercedes again. Oh, it's an accident again. Kyle there now, and Metza was that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 grace penalty for Metzer.
yeah.
Simpson's gone off there.
they came together just past that crash scene as well of Luke. So there's a lot going on there at the chicane, and that could also be a set of tyres possibly brewing for Kyle there as well. I don't know where he is in terms of the F2 leaderboard. He's currently 7th overall. Just
Kyle
quickly
is
get a
Kyle
check.
is second in the running in the championship. So he's the one battling with iRacer for this title in F2.
Yeah, I think Metz is actually currently on pole for F2 as well. And then Ahmed second. So Ahmed will actually be inheriting the F2 pole right now, thanks to the penalties being given out. And yeah, Cal will move up to second there. So yeah, big mistake from Metz. I don't really know what happened there. They both just seem to come together. A rather unlucky situation.
Hopefully, it wasn't one of those incidents where it's ended up being a desync and someone's been given a penalty for not even contacting this game.
But they definitely came together, but it did look like Kyle was trying to move out of the way because he was far to the inside on the exit, and that's certainly not the racing line. He had already done a lap and pitted straight after anyway, so I wonder if that was just unlucky there. Just coming together at the wrong place, and there's another car off there. Zenki on his lap has got it wrong on a turn 2, and he's hit the wall quite hard. No damage, but a lap ruined. And yeah, he'll just come back in, I imagine. So lots of mistakes out there then. I'm surprised by this.
It's these drivers that are on the mediums that obviously not got the tyre temps back up to their optimal temperature, and they're either sliding about or just losing traction on the exit of corners. Because the medium tyres take a long time to heat up, especially if you're doing it in qualifying. You have to carry a lot of fuel and just get a few laps under your belt on these mediums.
That's why I'm rather surprised how many people have went on them, because you know, the more you sort of see them, you'd imagine people would probably be better off doing ultra softs for their sort of practice runs, because you know you got less chance of going off the track anyway on them, and you get more of a feel for
Well,
the track.
LMC Hamilton has set an excellent time, a 1:16.8 on a set of mediums.
Three
That's
lap
only
balls.
6 tenths off. 6 tenths off Lee, who's on a 3 set softer tyres.
I mean, that is very strong. He should easily get into the 115s if he can keep that pace up. We've got more yellows out there. I wonder what that could be for. Try and find it. I think it's just for people slowing down. I think Coney though is on a lap, so we'll follow him round. He's on ultras again. We'll see how he gets on this time. And just wonder if anyone in the chat has said anything about that incident that happened at the chicane. I'll have a quick look in the chat because I can see that Cal is in there, so gotta have a little look, see exactly what was going on there. Ah, Metzer, he lost the back end. He was looking at Luke's car in the wall and didn't seem to see Kyle then. So yeah, Luke unintentionally may have caused a bit of an incident there between Metzer and Kyle. So that's
Yeah, this just means you got to keep your eyes on the road at all times,
yeah.
no matter what happens around you. Focus on your lap, focus on the track ahead.
Yeah, it's surprising that you can make that type of mistake. I know, you know, coming from me, who's very good at making mistakes, but yeah, I don't know. Guess that's how little distracted it takes to actually cause you some bother. Now Yuri is out there.
As well. Yeah, you always seem to be getting out on ultras, but Coney's improved to P3. So he I need to keep looking at these tables because of the way the layout of the F2 and the F1 drivers. It's like who is actually on pole. So it doesn't mean you're in the number one spot. It could just be the number one spot of your tier.
Yeah, because I think F2's pole position man is currently still Metzo, who's sixth, and that'll eventually get moved on to Ahmed. Remember, people, there is a point for this pole position, so every position counts. And yeah, it's surprising though.
It could be the reason why they're going on ultras, just for that 1 point.
Well, yeah, it does just ruin their races though. But they know they're guaranteed points. A finish is points, no matter what tier you're in. So I guess
Yeah,
maybe
that is
you
true.
can take that risk more. And Yuri takes pole then in F2 at the moment. He's gone up to P6 overall.
Better
So
softs as well.
yeah, that could well be his final time then. Tom is out on ultras. I wonder if he's going to do a full lap on them. We'll certainly catch up with that at some point and see what he gets up to. Robo Jeep's out there on a lap. Looks like Matt in the other Renault is going to try and make it Renault 1-2 in there. Well, in a way. Pull, and there's yellows again up the hill. I wonder what's happened there. Maybe wrong on a turn 4. But yeah, Matt really going for it here. Touch
Yeah, I'm
wide
on
at
board
turn
with him
4.
now. Yeah, he's kept away from the inside curve at turn 5, but he's on a set of ultras, so he's just gunning for pole, I believe.
Well, sometimes you will see people just floor the brakes as soon as they get to the line and just, yeah, go
Or
back to the
even just
pit.
dive into the pits.
Oh, that's quite wide. That could be exceeding the track limits there from Matt. Remember, championship leader by quite a margin. Don't remember exactly what that number. I think it's about 65. I was checking it before the stream. I really should remember. But he does pit. But yeah, he's certainly looking good in his championship. And I think Tom went back to the pits by the way as well. I saw he was on ultras, and he will move to soft in a moment. And a lot of people are going in
So
now as well.
there's 3 minutes left. Matt and Zenki are the only 2 drivers yet to set a time.
I think there might be a new F2 pulled in. I don't remember if Robojeep was actually in F2 or not. He is.
Yep, Robojeep's in F2.
So Robojeep is right up there at the moment. And Lee is still on pole for the F1. So yeah, we're getting ready for the final runs then. Metza is the first one out. Remember, he's going to have a penalty for his incident, so he cannot take that pole position and the extra points that comes with it. But he could, I guess, maybe try something different with a strategy, but clearly he's not going to. But he could have sort of taken that opportunity. Maybe just went for P11 or something, or P6 on a set of ultras and
Yeah, yeah.
got
Yeah, I
himself
was
a
about
bit,
to say that, yeah.
got
What
himself a
would
bit
be the
higher up.
best beneficial position to him?
We got more yellows out there. These guys really are having a bit of fun out there.
Keeping the
Once again,
marshals busy anyway.
I think it is just slow cars because Mega Schumann is just going about 70 mile an hour. It's just not
Yeah,
really.
there's yellows
I,
everywhere.
I don't know why this game wants to give yellows for that, but okay. And he's on 2 lap old soft, so this is really his last opportunity to make something work. And we can ride on board with him and see how high he gets up. He's currently 1.4 seconds off pole. Bearing in mind that that pole was set on a set of ultra softs, so it's not really overly surprising that the drivers are off by some margin. Tom, though, certainly is going to be the man to watch on, as you said, 3-step harder tyres, only being 6/10 off Lee. Sure, that'll surprise quite a lot of people. And Micah
But I
Schuman's
think
a
I
good.
think Lee might get knocked off because LMT Hamilton is now on a set of softs.
Yep.
So
Kyle's retired. He's just taken that P7 again, which is pole. And Tom is absolutely going for it on this lap. There's a McLaren ahead of, must be Zenki. And it is. He's going to need to see him, and he does. Lee retires, so he is not going to improve in that time. And it leaves him all very vulnerable to Tom, but he has just gone quite wide. Yuri is also finished. He's currently P2. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Robojeep's gone quicker. Robojeep went quicker. He's up to P6 now, so Robojeep takes that pull back, and then it'll be Kyle second and Yuri third. Tom is looking at getting the F1 pull, and the overall pull, of course, as well. And into the last corner he goes. He was a little bit wide in, I think, turn 10, but I don't think it's going to matter to him. He still come to the line and take pole then. So, it's a 15.9, so he did just about get into them 15s. Can anyone catch him though? We have got
Zenki
Coney.
coming across the line
We have
to
got
start a lap.
Oh,
And
Coney, he was on the ultras, and he's just made a big mistake there. He was currently third. He's going to end up finishing third, possibly. Metzes went fourth, but unfortunately, it isn't going to make any difference to him. What he's going to want to hope is that the likes of Matter and Matthew actually get ahead of him, so he gets that P6 and falls down. Because
yeah,
currently
because I don't think,
P4 is going to sort of leave in a bit of a no man's land without a
yeah,
free
I'll
tire
set a
choice.
soft start. But the two drivers to watch, I think, will be the two drivers that haven't set a time yet, and they're both on a set of softs, and they're both running into the final sector now. So,
We've got
will
Matter as well
Tom
first.
get his get his pole?
Matter's not going to get the
As you said,
pole,
yeah.
but he does get third.
P3.
Matthew, as well, as Metz is still going round. I think he's on probably a slower lap. Qualifying is over, so these are the last times to come in. And Matthew, what's he going to be able to do on them soft tyres? He also gets past Matt as well. So he's up to third then. Metz very happy. He'll be in P6 there. In what would
Zinki's
have
coming
been,
across the line, and he's P5.
and Matt as well, across the line to go P2.
All right, close.
Very close.
Just a tenth separating the top two F1 tier drivers.
So then, it is Tom who takes pole here in Hungary for F1, and I believe then at the end of it all, it's going to be RoboJeep who takes pole for the F2. And yeah, surprising to see he's down in P10. He was sort of up there a bit earlier. Metzer would have got the point, but since he got a penalty, he will fall down to 13th. It won't show until they actually line up on the grid. But yeah, he is going to be 13th then on the grid. And that is qualifying, and that is it. The points will be dished out. And I think that actually brings Torosso off the bottom as well. Because I think they had no points beforehand, and they had no points. So that'll be a welcome point to kick off their campaign. So they'll take that one. But yeah, we have Lee and Coney on ultras. It'll be interesting to see exactly what they do from there. Because you'd imagine that Lee could have a decent start, possibly go for the lead. He's a long enough run on two-step softer compound. It's not out of the question.
Yeah, he might get the better traction off the line, but how well will Matt and Tom get off the line? Will they be side by side? Will it be three wide into turn one? Will anybody from the back get a Bottas style start and get into the mix as well?
So it is a fully dry race, just like qualifying then. The sun is out, and that should mean that there'll be no drastic change in strategy. I imagine Lee and Coney are just going to have to do ultra soft. I can't really see them doing anything else. Unless there's like a safety car to start, maybe they could stretch them ultras and possibly stretch a set of mediums.
But is it worth the risk of being extremely slow trying to go around on really old ultra softs where the tyre temps are probably going to heat up drastically and the rear tyre temps are going to be. Will they be able to hold? Will it be worth holding out for a few more laps to save an extra stop?
I think they sort of took that risk, didn't they, when they sort of chose the tyres. I guess they know what they're doing, but we'll see how it pans out for them. In other league races where I saw this tactic used, I have to say it hasn't worked, but you never know. The rest of the field, apart from them two, are all on the soft compound tyres. No real surprise there. So yeah, no major variety in the strategy, but that isn't always that bad.
Yeah, none of the drivers outside the top 10, well, on this grid, top 10, decided to risk the mediums, mainly because it just takes so long for the tyres to heat up and them to work properly. And then by then you've just either lost positions but you will be faster at the end of the race. There is that benefit, but is it worth the risk at the start?
Right, and so let's quickly run through the grid order then. It is Tom on pole in his Mercedes, so he already has a point in the bag. Then it's Matt in P2, the championship leader for F1. And then Lee third on them Ultra Sauce. We'll see what he can do from there. Matthew, decent performance from him, being the other Matt, who's in 5th. Then Zenki 6th, Coney in 7th. Metza will start 13th. He will line up there, don't worry. He will eventually sort of get that all sorted out. So that means that Megan Showman will start 8th. Looks to be a bit of stuff going on up ahead. I don't really know why they're all on the grass, but that's a bit weird. Robojeep, Paul for F2, gets his point. He will start P9. Kyle will start 10th. Yuri 11th. Ahmed 12th. And then Metza will slide in there in 13th. And Luke, who crashed earlier on, will start at the back. And they're all starting to line up now. Tom heading towards the grid. He's got that Renault inside him. Don't worry, that will get sorted out. Love it when the game just does that. You'd think they'd be able to, yeah, fix that type of thing. Anyway, let's just make sure that Metza does go to this grid spot. As you can see, he's there behind Ahmed, and yes, he does go into that 13th spot. And that means we're just waiting on the lights now as Luke lines up at the back of the grid then. So it's time for the Hungarian Grand Prix here in VSL, back after the Christmas break. We've got 5 lights on. And they're away. It's a decent start from the front row. I don't think Lee's going to have a real chance there into turn 1. It looks like Matt could get into the slipstream there of Tom. We'll see what he does down towards turn 1, looking for the outside. A bit of a dive bomb from the Red Bull back, and another one from the second Red Bull. Caused a bit of chaos. It's causing...
Matt spun. He hit the rear of the Force India going into turn 1. So a bit of chaos in turn 1, but...
I think that was all caused by Luke, because he just dived everyone. I don't know really why he did that. He's retired. He hasn't damaged the car to the point where it retires. He's just sort of left. Yeah, it's a pretty clumsy decision now, to be honest with you. I don't know why he felt the need to do that. By the way, Matthew got ahead of Lee, so Lee really didn't get a good launch there of the line. And Coney, on the other hand, got a great start.
He did indeed, and so did Revergy in the other title. So he's getting a few positions in the start, and Y-Racer both have 2 drivers getting ahead of 3 F1 drivers. So will they start battling if the F1 drivers start fighting through, or will they just take their own race and start battling their fellow F2 drivers for these valuable points in the championship? Y-Racer needs to keep his head straight, make sure he finishes ahead of Kyle to keep that championship title alive.
They will fight for every position they can do. I imagine if an F1 driver is going to come through, they're going to do absolutely... They're going to defend like hell, trust me. They'll want that promotion, of course. There's always promotion on the line as Lee goes round the outside.
Bit wide on the exit, but they're going to be side by side going through to turn 3.
You'd think with the extra grip of them Ultra Sauce that Lee can complete the move, but he won't be able to. It already looks like the tyres are starting to go. He had a massive twist out of turn 2, and then tyres are already starting to die by the looks of it. Behind, by the way, as well, it's looking pretty close with Ahmed and Metza. And Megan Showman, it's showing that there's 1/10 between them. That isn't true, so just ignore that. One gap that is true though is a battle for the lead, which is 7/10, and that'll be interesting when DRS gets enabled. And then obviously the battle for third as well is raging on. I wonder if Coney can catch these two if they start fighting. I don't know how he's keeping his tyres in the cyber, but it'll be interesting to see when he has to pit as well.
Kyle and Matt, ADR Matt, are in the Ferrari, have both made a stop in this race already, so they must have had damage from the incident going into turn 1.
What happened? Like I say, I think Luke just crashed into one car, and that caused a concertina effect. One car, you know, gets spat off wide into another one, and another one, and another one, and that's what caused all the chaos. A really clumsy move, and
Matt's in the pit as well, so...
Oh, that's a really lit dive bomb for Matt. I wonder if he hit the back there of Kyle. He's off to Narnia, is Kyle, so yeah, he must have. Once again, a really clumsy move there from the Ferrari driver, maybe losing his head a little bit. But Kyle then down to last place.
I think Matt might be a little bit disappointed in the start that he had, just because of the contact, and he thought, how am I going to recover from this? Because he's currently last in the F1 drivers, and he said earlier, he said pre-race that he was looking forward to maybe attempting to get another podium after the season break because he finished on a high in 2018 with a podium in Germany for VSL.
Tell you what, Matt is looking very close here on Tom. Remember, he gets DRS down the main straight and then DRS down towards turn 2 as Robo Jeep gets
For a battle
past.
for fifth, yeah. Them
And
tyres
that,
for Coney look to be gone.
yeah,
He's
really
struggling.
does show it. But here we go. DRS from Matt. Will he take it on the first attempt or will he just go for the exit out of turn 1? Which it looks like he will do. Tom has went overly defensive, I think, there. He should know that Matt will have the DRS the second time round. It's going to give Matt a run here. Round the outside into turn 2. Can he make this one work? These are very quick drivers. I'm sure they know how to defend and attack very fairly. So hopefully it'll be a race-long battle. But Matt can't quite get through yet. Coney is falling through the field now, isn't he? Locking up, going wide into turn 2. Really not having a good time. And look at Lee as well. Lee losing buckets of time to Matthew.
Yeah,
He's just cleared him.
Even tense in every little split on the interval change. So it's either now do they make the pit for the doubles for the two stop for softs, or they just take the pain and go longer because they're falling away from these battles, and if they're going to do the one stop, it's not going to benefit them that much because then they'll just be and Lee has spun it, which means those rears are absolutely shot now because when you're spinning in this game, tyre temperatures rocket up. He has joined the track safely.
Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car comes out for that spin then. A rather odd decision from Codemasters. Especially since he didn't even hit anyone and then he's back. So that could be a saving grace though for Coney.
Yeah,
of course.
Coney is pit.
I wonder there was contact actually because Maggot Showman has broke his front wing, although he was one of the dive bomb. Oh, into turn 1 as Coney gets a penalty. I mean, how can you even do that? It's a virtual safety car and you still manage your speed. Come on, man.
He's on mediums. Maggot is on mediums. Lee's on medium. Softs.
Not mediums.
The game's glitched. Is it mediums? The game glitched to me. It said it was on mediums, then it was on softs.
And just as they all come out, the virtual safety car has gone back in if it was even out in the first place.
But Coney is doing the two stop. He's on softs.
Oh, do you know what? I wonder if Tom was caught out a bit by that because Matt was right up his rear end there. Nearly went into him. I wonder if he might have. I caught a bit late, but they were certainly very close to each other. But yeah, Matt really.
This is going to be a nice long battle to watch all the way through.
Absolutely, they really will be going for it soon. But yeah, as a result of everything that's going on, it's going to be at the moment a Renault 2-2. If you look at their respective tiers, and there's also going to be Mercedes 1 and 3. So them two are going to get a very good haul of points today, and it could become even better because here comes Matt for Renault in the F1s here. Can he go for the lead here? He's going to try the same tactic as last time. He gets the wide entry into turn 1. Will give him a better run towards turn 2. He's not quite close enough this time though. I don't think he'll be able to go for a move. He'll just have to stick behind that Mercedes for just a little bit longer. He does look like if he got past, he'd be able to pull away, to be honest. But it is just the main battle.
Is, when he goes into turn 1, he's very close to the rear of Tom.
Oh, penalty.
He's got a penalty now. Yeah, he gets really close to the rear end of Tom. Oh, Tom's made a mistake.
Yep.
Going towards the chicane.
He's sent some marker boards flying, so hopefully no one actually needed them. And yeah. Tom gets his own little penalty there as well. And Yuri's in the wall there. He's hit that inside curb. Just like Coney did in qualifying, I think it was. And yeah, he's spun round. As I said before the stream, honest to God, worst corner on the whole game, and it just catches you out all the time.
But you want to take the tightest line in that corner, and then just a little. It's just the smallest clips with the rear tyres, and it just sends you spinning.
Yeah, I mean
he only has to make a pit now because he's got half a wing.
Yeah,
quite a bit of damage. He's understeering through corners, so gonna have to make a switch to the mediums. Really early for himself, actually.
So that is one Renault falling down. He's still still only third in his race, but I think Metza might get him. Of course, Metza has already had to pit in this race himself, so it'll be interesting to see how that one works out. I think
Yeah,
then
Metz just
too.
comes to the penultimate corner, so he will jump him. Because with a front wing change, it's an extra 5 second stop. So
This sort of helps
he's, he's,
Kyle.
he's only just got in the pit box as well. So Metzer will overtake easily, and Kyle's coming onto the start finish straight now. So I think Kyle will overtake as well.
So that means that Kyle will close a little bit in the championship as Yuri falls down to last. I don't know how many F2 drivers there are actually. Let me just quickly count out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 then. So Yuri
And
will.
five.
He'll lose 2 points then. So the gap, as it stands, is only going to be 1 point in the championship. But for the F2 driver, so I mean, it's as close as I can really get, isn't it? It's unbelievable how that mistake's been made. Seemed very careless, but I guess it
The
is.
only real battle now on track is for the lead of the F1 tier race, or effectively just the leader of this race in general.
Yeah,
But it just seems that as it is has been seen on game and in the race, in the real F1 race, you can't overtake on this track.
yeah, it's just impossible. You have to rely on the guy ahead making a mistake. And with these two drivers, who are both very, very quick drivers, it's just so unlikely to see mistakes from them. Although Tom has been off to Narnia once in this race already, so guess you can never say never.
I think with the gap as it is, if Matt either just tries to hold off making a move, or when it gets towards pit window, go for the undercut, because I think that would be the only way he can even gain the track position to take the lead of this race.
Well, that is one thing, isn't it? You can just jump. But isn't it sad, like, races like this could end up being decided by safety car. Not safety car, pits. But, yeah. I'd say Matt, I mean, he's only 5 tenths off, but on a track like this, you really need to be, what, 2 or 3 tenths? So, yeah.
Lee's just got himself a penalty. He's in a little bit of a battle. He's in P7 with Magid going behind him. So that's the second battle on track, under a second. And they both made an early stop onto mediums.
Obviously, another thing thanks to the Yuri incident is now that Ahmed is second in the F2 race. We've got Mercedes 1 and 2 going on. And down the inside goes Maggot. That's a late one. If he can make it work, though, it'll be pretty impressive on the exit. He should get that one done, and he does indeed. Up into P7 in the race, but P5 in the F2 race overall. Or F1 race, I should say.
Now it's up to Magid now. Can he push on and catch Coney, gain another position? Coney does still need to will make another pit stop. So I don't see him stretching his softs 30 laps in this race. That would be horrendously impressive, but I seriously doubt it.
Incredibly dangerous, I imagine.
Oh yeah, more of a risk of puncture than finishing anything.
A bit of a roadblock as well. But I guess on a track like this, you can be a roadblock and just defend for your life.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, realistically, could drive as slowly as he wants. If he really wants to, he could probably let Matthew sort of catch up to all this and put Matt and the Renault under some pressure. Although he is a little bit shaky. He's going off at turn 4 again there, Tom. He just doesn't look that comfortable, but he knows he can just stay in front in the important sections.
Yeah, the two places that will have
wow.
a chance is turn 1 and turn 2.
Mackett is absolutely flying up into P4 now in the F1 race, and Lee is actually catching up to this as well, as is Matter. So yeah, we've got a bit of 4-car scrap. Could have a potential to start in here. Although it'll more likely just be a 3-car scrap.
Closing together. We didn't want a simulation race where nothing happens, but now the gaps are starting to close.
Yeah. Well, we've
It'd be
seen
good to see
two
some.
overtakes, and oh wow, Lee! Massive accident. He lost it at turn 5. Interestingly, he didn't spin inwards. He actually corrected it just in time, but it actually put him into the wall. And
Overcorrection.
let's just get this one straight. We got a virtual safety car for a spin, but a full blown accident, nothing. Codemasters, get it sorted
Yeah.
out, would you? Come on. It's really bad to see that.
Yeah, and there's even still debris on the track from his accident. In any real F1 race, that would cause some. Oh, I think if it happened in a real F1 race at that corner where
It's
it was
instant
located,
safety
yeah,
car.
it would definitely be a full-blown safety car because of where the racing line is on that track.
Matter has just got past Coney, went side by side into the penultimate corner. Very nice move. And Coney can't come back on him. His tyres already look to be just gone, even though Matter's a 3 laps younger.
I've
Weird.
noticed that he's been locking up into turn one, Coney.
Yeah, and turn 2 as well. He
Yeah,
was doing that on the Ultras as well. It just doesn't seem to have any sort of speed, does he?
no, the only problem now is when you lock up, tyre temps are going to go up, and it's just a nightmare to try and get tyre temps to go back down again in this game.
And at a track where you can't overtake, we're certainly seeing quite a lot of overtaking going on. But nothing for the lead at the moment. A gap of 7 tenths, and even though Matt's getting DRS, Tom is starting to pick the pace up. And Matt, I don't know, will he be thinking of a pit stop this lap or even the next lap? The pit window is
I think
open.
it's come to the realization that he won't be able to overtake on track. It's going to have to be through pit stops.
Yeah,
Because he's pulled back a little bit. I think with that, he doesn't want to be in the dirty air anymore as much. Save his tyres a little bit better.
I think to be
Although
honest,
he's closed up a
ideally,
little bit in second two. And there is a blue flag. Who's that for? That is for the ghosted car of Zenki.
ideally, I think Matt is probably just going to do the opposite of Tom on this lap if he wants that
Yeah.
lead. I think it's about time where you can pit and the tires will get to the end okay. But we'll see what
So
happens.
I actually think that the overcut would be a better strategic call because it just as it takes so long for the mediums to get the tyre temps up to their optimal temperature for this race. If the tyre wear isn't that bad for Matt, he could get the overcut on Tom, or vice versa. Tom could pit early. Tom could do the opposite of Matt, and then if Matt tries to do the undercut, he could just stay out, pump in some more laps, and wait for Matt to try and heat up his mediums.
So no pit stops then on that last lap. Top two still just a couple of tenths apart. Blink of an eye and they'll both have been past you. They're that close, but on a track like this, as I said, it just, they just can't pass. Matthew is 7 seconds behind in third. He's got a pretty decent gap. I mean, he's got nearly a pit stop, on Magid, and he might end up in a bit of a battle with Matt. Rubojeep leads the F2 race with Ahmed 9.5 seconds back from him. And there's
Metz
Metza
has
up
made
in
a move
third.
on Coney, yeah.
Yeah, Coney off to
F2 on an F1.
Coney off to
Coney is
Narnia.
struggling. He is struggling.
And Kyle and Yuri, the two F2 challengers for the title, and the last. Who could have expected that one? Zenki, he may be on the scoring board, but he's not going to count because he was out at the start. And Matt is going to pull the trigger. He's making the undercut. So we'll see just how that one works. And it should be just a medium compound tyre. No real surprise.
Matthew behind in the third is making the pit stop as well.
Yep, and his fourth end, yeah. They should both come out in clean air. Matt should be ahead of Ahmed. I think Matthew might just be behind him. I don't know.
Yeah, Robo Jeep's gone through quite a way. Yeah, Matt's in clean air.
Matthew is not actually, so you didn't quite get him, but I imagine he probably will quite soon anyway if it isn't just on track just for a pit stop.
Yeah, 2.5 second gap between him and Ahmed. I don't think Ahmed will put too much of a fight with there being a tier difference in the two drivers. but he's come out way in front of Maged, so he is definitely on course for a podium.
So, Tom, it's now hammer time. Can he get himself into the pits and back out ahead? He's currently about 20 seconds clear. So, I think a pit stop time here is about 20. It is going to be very close between the two of them. And with Matt having the clean air, he's already starting to close in a little bit. So, Tom needs this to be a perfect pit stop. He needs to judge his pit lane speed perfectly here. He's used about as much ERS as he possibly could in this lap. He has absolutely put the hammer down. But is it enough? On to the mediums he goes. Look out for that Renault. He's about to come to the final corner now. And who is going to be in front? Robo Jeep is going to take the lead in this race for now. And there's that Mercedes coming down the main straight. Is it going to be Matt? Is it going to be Tom? Matt's going to have the run on the outside into turn one. Tom loses the lead.
Perfectly.
So, RoboJeep has the weird position. He's leading the overall race and he's leading the F2 race.
I don't think he would ever have seen himself be doing that.
Coney in the wall.
Soon.
Coney into the wall there. Broke his front wing there. Penultimate corner, and I think Matter is battling with Maggot. He is indeed, and he's ahead of the Red Bull. And Matthew
made it by Ahmed. And Coney's had enough.
Into the pits. Did he just do that? Yeah, just into the pits.
No, he literally just smashed him. Yeah, he smashed himself into the side wall as well.
Yeah, good job. But now this could be a bit of an issue. I know Tom's only 2.4 back, but how much of a roadblock is RoboJeep going to be as Matt shoves it down the inside? Tells the F2 driver, this is my track. Go away. And yeah, RoboJeep has obliged and he's pitting now. And Matt sets the quickest lap.
Ahmed didn't make it too much work for Matthew to get by into P4. He realised that it wasn't his race to battle with him, and he's in the pit as well. Ahmed has followed strategic call with the Toro Rosso.
So then Matt is on course to get 26 World Championship points as he's just set the fastest lap there of the race. I want to see the F2 fastest lap, but probably want to wait until RoboJeep actually does a lap first, as well as Ahmed. And look at this, RoboJeep was right in the middle of these two battling for P4, and that could have ended quite badly. He's been jumped by the two of these lot, RoboJeep, Maggot and Matter, but I don't think that really matters to him because he's still staying in his own position for F2, comfortably leading the race.
6 seconds gap to Max on 13 lap old mediums as well. So RoboJeep's possibly going to walk away with this.
Do you know what, Kyle? If Kyle can get this fastest lap, he will be equal on points with Yuri, and I'd say that it'll probably either be him or Yuri who gets that lap. So it'll be interesting to see if they maybe just do deliberately at pit stops, because he can just do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. As Tom, he's now going to take that point off Matt. So that's also definitely something to look at. Fastest laps for the upper tier. We'll have a look at that at the end of the race, because it's probably best to not constantly be looking at their times, because it won't pop up on the screen. But yeah, just another thing to think about. But here is Maggot then, going for P4. He's got a good run on Matter. Is there enough to go for it into turn one?
He moved over into the line to make the dive, but he thought better of it.
Yeah,
sensible. Don't go for a dive. Matt has already had one incident into turn one. I don't think he'd be very happy if there was another one.
I think Maggot was probably one of the drivers who was barreling into him, to be honest, at turn one, if I remember correctly.
I think what Maggot should do is not battle too hard, because Matt needs to make a little pit stop. He's on a set of softs.
Well, they both laps. Do. They both need to pit again.
Yeah, that is true, but
I mean, they're still, last in their tier anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yes, they are.
Oh, that's Ahmed off. Will he lose that P2? I don't think, or P3, sorry.
Yeah, he has. No, he's still in P3, yeah. He didn't Tyler's now only 3 seconds behind. So if he was to overtake Ahmed, he'd be now officially would be leading championship position status as well.
Hmm. So Matter makes his pit stop. Magid will stay out for probably a few more laps. He'll probably just go to a set of the softs to the end of the race. Unless he thinks he can get to the end on these mediums, which I think is a bit unlikely, but you never know. The gap at the top is 1.5 seconds. We'll see if Tom can catch. Obviously, he had been struggling a little bit up front. I think he's just using the advantage of the fact that this track is very difficult to overtake on to actually keep the lead. If it was a track like, say, I don't know, well, any other track like Belgium, for example, you wouldn't be able to hold that gap for too long. But yeah.
The gap is staying very consistent as well. It's 1.5 seconds gap. It's always ranging between that 1.5 second, 1.6 seconds. So I don't think Tom is pushing that hard. He knows he's got the 1 lap fresher tyres, but what he should do is just slowly, gradually get that time down within the 1 second DRS, and then try and do what Matt couldn't do on him and pull off an overtake.
Well, currently Tom has got a bit more ERS to play with. They are both using plenty to try and sort of keep the gaps between each other. So we'll see if Tom's ERS advantage will sort of help him later on. You imagine it would, but will it help him right with 1.7 seconds? I don't know. Also penalties. I'm going to quickly check the penalties for these two, because obviously they had been getting some at the start. Matt has won and Tom has won. They both had the same amount of warnings as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if any of them get any more penalties, because that will obviously affect their races quite dramatically if the gap stays within 3 seconds. And yeah, unfortunately all the gaps have started to open out, so just gotta be on the lookout.
I was keeping an eye on Kyle. He was slowly closing in on. I was going to say closing in. The gap did pull down to Evie Armada, but now it's starting to fall back. I think those mediums are starting to feel a little bit off their peak. 17 laps completed on them. But the gap to Yuri is quite sensible, 10 seconds. But if we were to pit, you'd need to pit on a nice brand new set of softs and just push to try and catch up to Yuri and then overtake.
So Matter is out there on newer mediums. I wonder if he will catch Ahmed, because obviously Ahmed has also just been in, but yeah, you'd imagine that the F1 driver here should be able to get by soon. He's currently 1.4 behind. Metza makes his second stop and gets a 5-second penalty. I think he's got that twice now, hasn't he? I don't know. We'll see. I think, nah, it's only one he has. Either way,
I think it's
still.
only one because otherwise he'd be going in now and then suffering a 5-second stop, and he didn't get the 5-second stop, so he'd only had the one.
Yeah.
He had the one just now. He's come out in between Kyle and Yuri, so
Yeah,
Kyle's points.
Well, Kyle and Yuri still have to pit again, though. So.
True indeed.
I just wonder if they could even stretch their tires far enough, Yuri, and Kyle. Maybe more sort of Yuri here, just to
maybe.
Just to even go for an ultra run at the end for the fastest lap, because I think whatever happens, I think Yuri's still going to end up finishing behind Kyle. So I wonder if Yuri could just stretch it out, say to lap 31 or something, which he can do, I imagine, and just go for some ultras and set that fastest lap.
Yeah, because right now, yeah, as you said, right now, Yuri is not going to be catching Kyle anytime soon, and even if Kyle pits, he'll be on fresher, quicker tyres. So, and then he could even set the fastest lap of the race and get a bonus point.
So Ahmed gave up very little defence there against Matter, who just drove clean past him and ahead into some more clean air. Now, Tom is in DRS at the moment. Will he stay there? It's very much on the edge right now. And into the final
Yes,
corner,
hundreds of
not quite.
seconds between can he get the DRS or will he just
Alright,
be
look at that.
shy?
The ERS, he's got the D rates, and that's going to cost him a lot of straight line speed down there. And you can just see he's already lost 2 tenths there. And that's why you can't D-rate. I was saying about this in qualifying, and it also affects you in the race. The more you D-rate, the less of a run you get, and you can see just how much that's cost Tom. He went from nearly being in DRS to back to that 1.3 seconds, nearly. And it takes a while to catch that back up. Although he has got 14 laps to do it, so I guess he can muck about for a while.
He's closed it back. He's closed those 3 tenths. Oh, he's in DRS zone now. He's gained that 3 tenths back, going through turn 4 and 5.
Looks like Kyle's in trouble. Kyle has lost a place. He must have had a bit of an incident there. Will he pit? Yes. Has he hit the wall or something? I don't know.
I don't think he's got damage. He doesn't look like on his the hood of his car when he drove into the pits. He didn't have any damage, but realistically, he needed to take a pit stop anyway.
Yeah. But he could have done without losing all that time, couldn't he?
Yes, indeed. And as we go back to the battle for the lead, it's in DRS zone now.
I just wonder actually if Yuri will be able to go to the end. Because I think actually more I'm saying that, more you could sort of see that happening, couldn't you? On the mediums, I mean,
Yeah,
they're gonna have to go. Okay, they're gonna have to go a few more laps than the others, but I mean, if he can serve them, he's got a good 15 seconds in hand.
He
He probably.
that Yuri's just made a little mistake, 1-2-2-5, but he has gained time on Kyle because of that spin.
Yeah. Obviously, Yuri himself had a wee spin earlier on. Without that, he probably would have been right up there for the F2 lead. So it is about damage limitation for him, I guess. As long as he gets to the end of the race, he's going to be guaranteed at least 10 points. So, yeah. So, it is about to be lap 24. 12 to go in the Hungarian Grand Prix. You can see that Tom is now in the DRS range of Matt. He's got plenty of ERS, as has Matt, to be fair, so they can both fight this one out. But Tom, he's as
lap and overtake. Tom has.
Yep, he's as close as he's ever been to the back of that Renault, but not close enough at the moment. But certainly showing that he has got the pace in here, and he is willing to fight this one. Because you know what?
That when Matt went into turn 1, he shoved his EOS straight down to 0, where Tom kept it up into 3 and 4 just to gain that little extra speed into turn 1.
I'll tell you what, Matt, and so, Tom, second penalty. So now he needs to. Oh my goodness, Matt on turn 5.
That was close.
Somehow manages to save it. Tom on the outside, never gonna get round there, mate. And
he had to take avoiding action and slightly cut the chicane there. So, is there a problem with Matt? He ran really slowly into turn 5.
What happened was he hit that inside curb again. He got to the inside too much and he just lost the back end. Somehow he managed to save it, unlike his teammate. And yeah, just about kept the lead. Tom, unfortunately, it was a chicane next. He was never going to get round the outside there. Had to give it up. But surely he's got the psychological edge now over Matt. He's starting to make mistakes and he's going to be looking in his mirrors a lot down the straight. The gap is 0.4 of a second, and Tom, with overtake mode on, surely will have a chance into turn 1. Matt goes defensive right to the inside line. Tom is going to go for that exit, and surely here, down towards turn 2, Tom could have a go. He's had a bit of a slide. It might actually cost him. Will he have to go for a dive, or is he just going to have to wait another lap? He had that slide at a turn 1, and that did cost him then. So he does stay behind for now.
He did, going down to turn 1, he gained a lot of speed with the slipstream and DRS. It was nearly side by side, but as we've seen before, it's a very difficult track to overtake. It's a do or die Ricardo-esque do do you go for it or not?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously these two guys, they do have nearly a pit stop over Mafia, and even if they did have the pit, they were probably getting quite easily on the fresh tyres. So if you look at it like that, they can maybe even afford a wee smash, but because they'll still say 1-2. But I don't know.
But you wouldn't fancy it. You wouldn't want to see someone like that. You wouldn't want to see
Hmm. But if it
two top
comes
tier
to
brothers
if it
each other.
if it comes to a do or die move in the closing stages, they might just take that risk. We'll see what happens. But Tom at the moment then is just half a second off as he start lap 26. He's not going to go for a move at the moment. He had his chance in the last lap, arguably wasted it on the exit of turn 1, losing the rear end. Got a bit too punchy. And yeah, he has to play the waiting game here. Just like Matt have to do at the start, except this time there's no pit stop, there's no undercut for Tom to take advantage of. He's going to have to do this on track. And that'll be very impressive.
As we know, Tom doesn't know that he's got an extra penalty, and Matt has made sure that he does not want to touch that inside curve again. He's making sure not to hit the curve.
Tom will be driving under the assumption that he's actually got to make 6 seconds over Matt. That's sort of the mentality you're gonna have to have. So in that respect, I guess Tom thinks he can't wait. He has to get past. I'm pretty sure Tom got pulled, didn't he?
He did.
For this, so that means if he can somehow get past him in that 3 seconds, then we'll be seeing our clean sweep. I think it'll be our first ever clean sweep of 27 points. I don't know if we got one last time out. Even if we didn't, it'd still be pretty impressive if we can do it. But we'll have to wait and see. DRS once again for the Mercedes driver, and it's just not happening, is it?
No, it's his exit of the final corner isn't there. He isn't getting a nice punch through the second half of the final corner, and then get a nice run down to turn 1. And the same again, even on the exit of turn 1, going towards turn 2. He's not getting the better run through the corner than to his fellow racer Matt.
I do just want to quickly check also the F2's fast lap. I know I said I wasn't going to do this, but I do just need to quickly make sure that RoboJeep hasn't actually got the fastest lap there as well. I think it's Metza with a 19.0. Just 1/10 off Tom's fastest lap for the F1s here. So I imagine that Metza might keep that, so he'll grab an extra point for himself. That means that RoboJeep at the moment is only on for 26 points, not 27. That would have been quite cool to have 2 clean sweeps in one race. But look at this. Yuri is going to get involved.
He is a lap down. Willie, he doesn't want to hold up his teammate. He's gone in the pits. Yuri has pit.
Yeah, but guess what that does? It gives Matt DRS.
It does indeed.
Good teamwork there. Rather unintentional, I imagine, but certainly be appreciated by Matt.
Yeah, Matt would have been like, "Thank you very much."
And the ultras for Yuri.
On the telemetry, there's a red spanner next to on Matt's telemetry.
I think that might just be he's at the end of his pit window. It's a rather long pit window, but he's at the end of it.
Yeah.
Now Yuri, I said he might do this. He's on to ultras, so he'll be going for our fastest lap. So certainly I want to be riding on board with him when he goes for his flyer, just to see what he can do. Really.
He's a lap down to Matthew in P3.
Yeah.
He's very close, but will that affect? It might affect his lap time. But then again, it will give him slipstream and DRS going down 2 straights if he keeps within the 1 second window. So he could be punching in a very quick lap time.
I just wonder, even though if Yuri, he'll get in DRS and then just back off. And
Tom has ran wide on the penultimate corner. He didn't have a great run through there. He's lost 2 tenths to the back of Matt. That's quite of your own, but just switching back. He's always sliding through the final corner.
He just can't get this gap closed down, can he? He's gonna rue that mistake he made out of turn 1 last time round. But anyway, let's run on board with Yuri then. This could well be not just the fastest F2 lap, but the fastest lap overall for the race. I will keep an eye on the battle for the lead.
I'll keep an eye for the battle of the lead, and I'll bringing a Murray Walker-esque. Oh my goodness me, if it happens, but
Yeah. Well,
uh,
Yuri clears Matthew into turn one. Nice run. Tom gets another penalty. That could well be the end of his chances, couldn't it?
it could indeed.
And Yuri all went well then for the first few corners. Like I say, he got that good run on Matthew and was able to get past rather easily and get lots of extra straight line speed for it. Matthew sensibly didn't defend it, and it's a very clean lap so far then. So he's certainly looking at getting himself that extra point and taking it off Met. So that would mean he will end up being 2 points clear in the F2 championship rather than just one. Because there's no way Kyle would be able to beat the fastest lap from Yuri if he actually gets one.
And on an old set of softs. Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
has still got DRS, still struggling to get anywhere close. He gets closer going into turn one, but his traction, his exit of turn one is not great. He doesn't get a good run down towards turn two.
Right then, here comes Yuri to the line, fastest lap. So
Yep,
that'll be the
1:18,
extra point for him. And rather oddly, the fastest lap of the entire race. Someone he probably wasn't expecting going in, but there you go. He may be finishing last, but he will be picking up 11 points. So Matt then, I mean the gap is 3:10, but really it's 6.3 if you include penalties into
I
this.
think Matt's yeah, but Matt made a little mistake.
Yeah, he's
Now
not looking
2/10.
not looking too
He's
comfortable.
he's not loving turn five. He honestly is not loving turn five.
Yeah,
Going towards the chicane.
you know, he'll be nervous every time he goes through there now. He'll be trying to stay really clear of it, and sometimes if you do that, you'll actually put yourself under more pressure and make a mistake. And Tom, if he could just hold this gap, if he could just hold it through the last turn,
This could be his best chance.
he hasn't quite held it, but he may still have a chance. Ideally, he would have wanted to keep 3.5 tenths, and he hasn't. But Matt does still go
Oh, he's going
defensive.
down the outside?
Tom,
No, we won't be doing that.
he gets a much quicker exit, but once again, he's wasted the opportunity. Did he really have to dive down the outside? Probably not. Could he just have waited?
Not too much time, but we go again. It's through the lap where nothing really happens, and then it's onto the DRS straights where there is a possibility.
Yeah.
But Hamilton looks to be hitting fuel consumption, maybe saving, because
Yeah.
it is 4 laps, but he's probably going to have to start saving now a few times through the middle of the lap.
You know, he's really gone all out for this win. And he just hasn't been able to get there. Matt made a mistake there. He's went to the grass in the entry. But he's not going to be overtaken because it's just not a great overtaking spot down here. But yeah, Tom, he has put effort into this, and it just shows that track position is just so key. And that undercut really is going to pay dividends for Matt here. Even if Tom gets him at this point, surely Tom will be able to make 6 tenths. 6 seconds, I mean.
Yeah,
He's
there's
got
only 3 laps to go, 3 or 4 laps to go.
Good run once again for Tom. Oh, he wanted to try to dummy. He may still go for it. He hits him.
Oh, there's slight contact. No spinning from Matt, which is good, because if this with desync and contact like that.
Oh, wow, that's going to be
Oh,
off to Narnia, and the desperation really shown now.
A very risky late move there. I don't know what he was doing or thinking.
It's just, that's the desperation sinking in there, and Ahmed's
That
been
is.
off. Ahmed has been
And
off.
he's got another
Tom
penalty.
Tom is he wants to be careful he doesn't get himself disqualified here, and his teammate into the wall. What's he
What
doing?
is he doing? Yeah,
What is he doing? He's
yeah.
I tell you what, he's
But
he's
not.
I think he's forgetting that he's actually second here. He may be saying P7 on the screen, but he's actually P2. 18 points. Don't let them go. Robergy gets overtaken by Matter. So
Instant, he's lost like 8 to 9 seconds to Metza.
yeah,
He's
well,
on fresh ultras.
yeah, Metza could go for a fastest lap.
I didn't see it. I didn't see that pit stop, but he looks like he's coming around the final corner. And
Let's see it.
now, so he'll be
18 for the beat. Yeah, he'll do it. Fastest
yeah,
lap.
done it, smashed it.
So he gets the extra point, takes it off Fury. Says, "Thank you very much. I'll take 16 points right now, please. Thank you." And you never know, if Ahmed keeps making mistakes, it could well be 19 points. And he's onto the grass. He's off again nearly. Yeah, he might well lose that P2 here. And yeah, it took a while, but order is now resumed. It's F1 to the top 5 and then F2 to the bottom 5. Makes it a lot easier to figure out where everyone
Another
is.
battle on track though. Just to go through these final few laps of this race, Mado is close to back of Maggot's Showman going into the final corner. He's putting together a
Big
Hamilton
slide there, wow.
kind of battle, but he is very close. Will he go for a late dive? No, he doesn't.
Oh wow, right on the outside.
Yeah, Margot locked up there. He's been forced a little bit wide. What's the run like for Matt going towards turn 2?
Oh, he tries a Ricardo. Doesn't quite work.
No contact, but
oh, this could be a turn 4 move, but he does back off there. He sort of knows.
Yeah, you don't want to be making a move into turn 4.
He's
As
very
you found out in a little
yeah. Anyone who saw my Twitter last Thursday may have saw that.
But this is going to be feisty. Matt is getting held up.
You know what?
Margaret.
For someone who was facing the wrong way in turn 1, I think, and last, he's had a pretty decent drive. Personally, I'd be giving this man driver the day matter. He's had to sort of fight through a lot here.
Yeah, he's had to fight through F2 drivers. He's had to go through. He's had to do a double pit stop compared to the rest of the F1 drivers. It looks like he's going to be getting a better run towards turn 1 now, through the final corner. Yeah, this should be job done. I don't think any ride will fight it, but we'll see.
If he gets the position, I'd be giving him driver today. If he can convert out of here, and I think he will. I mean, he was last.
Yeah.
He was last. He had to fight for all the F2 drivers to get back up to 4th. And I know, yeah, he's going to finish nearly a minute off the lead, but you have to say it's been a pretty good recovery from him. And by the way, as well, Megan Showman, I didn't really think he'd be able to get this much out of the tyres, but that's incredible.
Yeah, he smashed it 29 laps. It just shows that you can get 29. Oh, he's sliding though. He is fighting on this final lap.
Well, he's got actually 2 more laps to go, including this one, so we'll end up with 31 laps on these. Could he make this one stop work? I mean, he's going to finish last, and yeah, RoboGeep. Well, actually, yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Massive snap of oversteer going into final sector.
Just don't crash. Mate. Just don't crash.
Yeah, he's locking up into every corner. It's
So look at this. Is this Metzer? This is Metzer right on the back of Matt. He's on the final lap here. Last thing he wants to see is a lap car trying to unlap himself.
Yeah, that's true. But Metzer won't want to finish the lap down.
He won't want to do another lap though, either, will he? Anyway, here we go. Matt. He's made the undercut work today. It's been good, and that can't be Showman, is it? It's not. Good. And here we go. Final corner. Final corner. He celebrates in front of the crowd. Matt, championship leader, extends his advantage by taking victory here at Hungary. Great drive from him. Tom in the end is going to finish about 7 seconds behind. 15 after penalties. Matthew looks to be on course to take 3rd place. I want to make sure I can find RoboJeep as well. He's currently on his final lap as well to take the F2 victory. But Matthew comes around the final corner. I think he's going to take that P3 with no real issues. And there he goes. P3, that's your top 3 then. But let's see Magan. Oh my goodness. That was close.
Magan went very wide, and he's literally nursing this home. He just got to make sure he doesn't interfere with RoboJeep behind, because he will not be happy if he ends up losing this win. But I doubt he'll lose it, but
there's Yuri.
Through the final corner. Yeah,
there's Yuri. But here we go now. RoboJeep comes to the line to take victory in the F2 race, and he actually beats Maggot Showman on penalties. So Good job. He's beaten an F1 driver as well. Good day for him. And Metzer will be the last man across the line. He's going to take P2 in the F2, and Ahmed there will get P3 in the end. So the gap now at the top of the championship for F2 is just 2 points. Nice and close, and I think Metzer promised this.
Oh, he said he was going to do it.
He said he was going to do this, didn't he?
This is why he wanted to probably get himself unlapped. He was like,
Yeah,
donuts.
I must get this.
Yeah,
That's more.
he celebrated donuts for P2, but
Yeah, we need to get him doing that for a win next time.
yeah.
Right then, so we'll quickly confirm who actually gets the extra points as well. So the pole position points went to Tom and to RoboJeep. RoboJeep and Tom got their win in second place for Tom. And let's just quickly see their fastest laps. So Tom will make it at 20 points then, because he's got the 18 points for second place, and then the pole in the fastest lap for his tier. And then RoboJeep is gonna get 26 points for the pole and the win. And then Kyle will get the fast, or not Kyle, Metzer will get Metzer will take his 19-point haul. So let's just quickly confirm the results then for F1 and F2. So F1, it is Matt who takes victory from Tom, Matthew, Matter and Showman. Then F2, it is RoboJeep from Metzer, Ahmed, Kyle and Yuri. And there's a lot of retirement from the chaos, I think, at the start. We had Senki, Coney, Lee and Luke. All sort of, I guess it's all must have been as a result of turn 1, because obviously Senki basically left instantly. I guess Coney was the only one who sort of went on his own, but Lee I think had damage from it, and Luke obviously just went instantly.
No, we saw Lee crash at turn 5.
Yeah,
Coney had had enough. Luke barely made it through lap 1, I think.
Yeah, Luke retired straight after causing the incident, so yeah. Well, that's it then. That has been VSL round 12. That was Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, and it'll be the Belgian Grand Prix. A great track, one of the best in the calendar, and I'm sure it'll provide a great
We'll see a lot more overtaking as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got quite a bit today, considering the track, you know. So, yeah, I think we saw a pretty decent race. I believe you're back next week as well.
I will be indeed. I will be joining you once again.
I look forward to that then. But thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, we will be back next week, 20 past 8. See you then.